What is up, guys? Chris, your professional dad, and I am back with another knife video. All right, so recently I've been doing this series where I'm showing you all different brands that I have and then all of the models that I have in that brand. And today I'm going to bring you another one of these brands that they're kind of like a staple in the knife industry. They're very well known. They have a lot of different knives, a lot of models, everything from really super expensive premium knives to really basement budget, options and offerings. And they're all over the place. And it's CRKT. CRKT. Now, here's the thing. I talked about with Kershaw, and I'm going to say the same thing about CRKT. CRKT is one of those brands that you do not have to be a knife enthusiast or hobbyist to know what CRKT is. The average person that's going through their life that only buys a knife because they are used to carrying a pocket knife and they want something sharp in their pocket. They don't know anything about knives. They don't care about knives. They don't get caught up and hung up in all that mumbo jumbo with the knives. They just need a knife to carry. Whether it's something they got from a friend or a relative or something they bought themselves at a flea market or at Walmart when they was there, they just carry a knife. CRKT is one of those brands that even that person, which used to be me and used to be a lot of you, I know from the comments, many of us have all started in that same area where we had that same mentality of knives and we looked at knives the same exact way. We thought we knew a lot. We had some of these Kershaws and CRKTs and Bucks, and we thought we had this great collection until we find out the truth about knives. And then we're like, oh, man, we only got a bunch of budget options. These ain't even really that like top notch. We got to step up our game. Many of us started in that same area. And I can tell you 100% for sure that when I was there in that area and in that mind space, the same way that most people in the world, 95% of the population that still lives in that mind space, they know enough to know, oh, CRKT, isn't that one of those like expensive? That's like a really good brand, right? That's not like the Walmart. And I was like, CRKT, that's a really good brand, right? They like cost more money. That's how the average person thinks. That's what I thought. CRKT, that's a popular brand, right? It must be a good knife because it's called CRKT, and they only make good knives, right? So here's the thing. Like I said, CRKT has some really good premium options, but they have a lot of basement budget options, and I don't use basement term like derogatory. I'm just talking price, like fall through the floor, low end price. Now, they have a lot of options and they sell them at Walmart for a reason, because the average person can go buy those Kershaws and Bucks and CRKTs at Walmart. So they've got a lot of options. They've got good ones. They've got budgets, but overall, they're very, very well-known brand. And I'm going to show you some knives. Now, right here is we're going to start with fixed blades like always. And the very first one I'm going to show you is the Minimalist line. Now, the Minimalist line is one of these lines that they could live on. If they didn't make anything else but the Minimalist line, they would stay in business because they sell so many of these knives. Now, when these come out, they took the knife industry by storm because people was buying them up so much. They are very small little neck knives. They come with molded polymer sheaths. They are razor blade sharp. They're usually they're always 3 fingers with a lanyard, and you do have finger choils there so that you can, so you get a good grip. This is the cleaver style. Now they have the clip point, the cleaver, they have the Warncliffe, they have a ton of different versions. A ton of versions of the Minimalist line. These are great little knives. The majority of time, if you ever see me out and about, you will see me carrying a neck knife. The majority of time. Now, it's not one of these. I carry the Outdoor Element Scout Feather all the time. I love that knife. I think it's a great one. But I would be just as confident carrying this as a neck knife. It's super light. Now, they do come with these little belt things that you can put on your belt and stuff like that. But, and so you can wear it like on an actual fixed blade on your side and stuff, or cross draw or whatever. But most people carry them as a neck knife because they're super light. If you're a hiker or you're out and about camping, or you're doing something on an EDC basis and you just want something small, light, out of the way that you don't have to like go fumbling in your pockets. You just got, oh, there's a string I need to cut. Just yank, cut the string, put it back in. Oh, there's a zip tie. Yank, cut it, put it back in. These are, I think these are 5CR, maybe they're ACR, but I think they're 5CR. I could be wrong. Let's say they're ACR. I'm not sure. They're about $40, $45, and they're phenomenal. They're really good. And when I say that these are razor blade sharp, oh, get one and check it out. Just next time you're at Walmart, try one and see how sharp they are. They are razor blades. At least mine are. Good little neck knives. Great neck knives. They are exactly what they are. They're not designed to be some hardcore, heavy use, hard use EDC knife. They're neck knives. That's just designed to be about convenience. Fast, lightweight, convenient when you just need a blade to cut. But they do have different looks, different shapes to the blade to give it more variations and options. But they're cool. Great little knives. Now this knife is also a really small knife. It could be a minimalist line, but it's not, but it's similar. And it is the Spew. This is not from the minimalist line, but it's similar to everything that the minimalist line is about. It is a really cool little knife with a lanyard here, and this is the Warncliffe. Now, I think that this is ACR. We'll go with ACR. It says stainless, but I'm pretty sure it's ACR. Another molded polymer sheath. Same exact thing with that belt loop on there. Just a cool little knife. Now, this does have a little, it's got jimping right here for your little thumb ramp. But this is not designed, this is another neck knife. It's not designed, it doesn't have a very thick tip. It doesn't inspire a lot of confidence for a lot of hardcore heavy EDC use. This is for exactly what I was saying with the other one. Lightweight, light work, pulling out, cut a string, cut a zip tie, slice some food really quick. Something light, easy, out of the way. A neck knife. Real simple. There's not a lot here. The debt tip is so thin, it would probably snap if you tried to use it to chisel anything at all. I wouldn't recommend it. It's so long and thin, it'll just pop right off. And I've seen a lot of them where that's happened. But if you use it for what it's supposed to be used for, it's a great little option so that you don't have to fumble around in your pockets. You don't have to carry, when you've got this knife on you, you don't have to carry another knife. Because if you run across a situation that you need something to cut, boom, package opening, right there. Letters opened, right there. Cut a sandwich, right there you go. Boom. Now the last fixed blade I want to show you is from CRKT and Lucas Burnley. Now Burnley does a lot with CRKT. I just saw a video of his on YouTube recently. He's a very well-known knife maker and designer, and he does do a lot with CRKT, and there's going to be some here on this table that I'm going to show you, including this fixed blade right here. And this is called the Nishi. Now, this has got a wrap that's almost like a samurai sword. There's another with CRKT in the Burnley line. There's two of them, and you can see the etching on the blade right there. The other one is a different style of blade, but it also has this wrap, almost like a samurai sword. Another one with molded polymer sheath. Great retention. It does have this little string that hangs down. I don't really... you could fasten this to you could use it like a neck knife or put it on your belt like an actual fixed blade or whatever. But this is also great for like a backpack because it's very thin, very lightweight, very easy to maneuver, very nimble. You can molly strips and stuff like that on backpacks and bags. There you go. This isn't a camping knife or something like that you can go out and baton with, feather stick, nothing like that. This is 8CR, and I think that these are going for around $65 on Blade HQ and Knife Center. You can probably get it at a little bit more affordable price on Amazon. But I'll tell you what I see when I see this. It's just a general EDC style fixed blade really, but when I see this, I see like a hunting knife that you can use for skinning animals and deer, game, stuff like that. I don't know what this knife is designed for. That might be exactly what it's designed for. I don't know. I don't carry this knife. I just have it because I'm a collector and I like to have all the knives. This really isn't a knife that, it's got like a hollow grind, so it's extremely slicey. It is ACR. I think it's 58 to 60 on the Rockwell chart. Good retention. It ain't going nowhere. Just a cool little fixed blade knife. If you know what that knife is designed for, let me know in the comments. I don't know what I'd use that knife for, but probably only for skinning games. Maybe doing some fish, cleaning fish or something. I don't know. Now here's the thing. I'm going to show you some folders. Here's the thing about CRKT. CRKT has models, like I said, very, very low budget options, all the way up to some really good premium options, and everything in between. CRKT is confusing though. And what I mean by that, look at the Ozark Trail, the Ozark knife, that $10 orange knife, the Ozark Grail that we call it. And people are like, how do you get a D2 blade with the crossbar lock, with those handles and the action and everything else that you get for $10? How are they doing that? How are you getting that good of a knife? And that is a great knife for $10. Or the Rake P801. That is a phenomenal knife. What I call the poor man's Sabenza. You can get that knife for $40. If that was an American-made knife, that'd be over $100 knife. How are they giving you all that you get with that knife for such an affordable price? I don't understand how they can do it. You know, I've ran companies before, and we ran the Prep Shack. I know how much it costs to have products, to make products, to promote products, to sell products. That stuff ain't cheap. So how are they giving you all of that for such good prices? CRKT has some knives that are exactly like that. You're like, how are you getting all of this that they're offering you for this good price? Now, they also have the other spectrum. Some knives that you're like, how are they selling that knife for that price? Are they selling that knife for that price? Are they getting that money out of it? Did that knife get them in such a hole manufacturing that knife that they had to charge that price for that? Because you just don't see it. You don't see the price in the knife. So CRKT is a little confusing with that. This very first knife I'm going to show you is one that is on the first. How they give you all this for $20 is insane. And it is the CRKT Sketch. This knife is fantastic for $20. This is such a good EDC knife. Now for me, it's a 5th pocket. It's a little small. But the average person, this is going to be a perfect size knife. It's not too small. It's perfect. It's got stainless handles that happen to be in stone washed. It has these aluminum spacers and this anodized pivot. Look at how beautiful that is. That just pops, that green does, against that stone washed handle. It is a frame lock with a pocket clip. Now the pocket clip is not deep carry, not even close, and it's not reversible, but you do have a pocket clip. Frame lock, remember. Now you do have jipping on top, not very much, very, very small area, but it's extremely aggressive. Very, very aggressive. You have a sheep's foot reverse tanto style blade right there with a good swedge on top. And look at this curve on this belly right here. Hollow grind. Hollow grind. This thing is hair popping sharp right out of the box. A very good tip right there for slicing, breaking down cardboard, opening packages, sandwiches, prepping food, whatever. This is a phenomenal, now it's ACR. This is definitely ACR, and it's 58 to 60 Rockwell chart. Easy to sharpen, easy to maintain, decent toughness with ACR. You're getting a metal handle, stainless blade, a stainless handle, and an ACR blade. Nothing to write home about, but you're getting a lot for $20. This knife is beautiful. It's cool. It's got good weight to it. I mean, it doesn't have a flipper tab or thumb studs. It's got the hole right there, the thumb hole or the flipper hole, whatever you want to call it. Good action on this thing. I mean, good action. Now, I can't do the flipper, the Spidey flick. Some people can. I just can't do it. But all you got to do is barely get it started and then flip it open, and it just great action. Great EDC knife. I recommend this knife so highly. I have carried this a couple times, and it's a great EDC knife for the average person. $20. This knife, if they charge $40 for this knife, I'd be like, all right, that's about what I would expect that knife to go for, about $40. $20. It's insane. Insane. Now, this next knife is a cool little knife if you're looking for something that's like just a standard, typical, what you think of as a pocket knife. An older gentleman, what he would carry on him for, I say it all the time, for sitting on the porch, cutting his apple, whittling his sticks, something you can take to church with you, just a normal, old-fashioned pocket knife. And it is the CRKT Steigerwalt Kith. Now, this is a lockback. It has G10 handles that have that black shredded carbon fiber look. Now, it's not shredded carbon fiber, but it looks that way. Dual thumb studs. And remember, this is a lockback knife. So it's not like it's got good action or anything like that. This is a knife that you have to intentionally open and close. This is a two-handed opening and closing knife. It has a hollow grind on a really nice, long 8CR blade. Another one, 5860 Rockwell chart. This is a really, really cool little, just a good little pocket knife. Executive style knife. Gentleman's knife, right here you go. It does have a deep carry pocket clip, screws are inset into the handle. It's not reversible, so it's right-handed only and tip up. But big, thick steel liners. You do have a G10 spacer that goes all the way down right there. I mean, just what a great knife. It's just what you think of when you think of a pocket knife. A lockback pocket knife. A lot of cutting edge right there. A good, strong, piercing tip. Hollow grind, extremely sharp. What a knife. Around $30. This next knife is another one that has that shredded carbon look to it, but it's not. This is the CRKT LCK Plus. This is a really, really cool little knife. Another great EDC option. This is an assisted knife. It has a reverse tanto tip. It has a hollow grind, ACR blade, deep carry pocket clip, screws are inset to the handle. It's not reversible. Actually, yeah, it's not reversible. It is truly deep carry. It goes above the handle there. So you can see that is true deep carry. It is a liner lock with thick steel liners that's in there, milled in there inside the handle. Liner lock, just a great. Now this is an assisted knife. So you've got that spring tension right there. Flipper tab. Boom. Bang in action right there. Jumps right out, reverse tanto, hollow grind. Just a great knife. The LCK is another really good, affordable budget option for EDC. Gentleman's knife, executive style knife, that shredded carbon fiber look on the G10 handles. It's just a really good, actually, no, these aren't G10. I said G10. These are GRN. Glass reinforced nylon. I can't believe I said G10. I apologize. On both of these, they're GRN, glass reinforced nylon. That's one of those situations where I just get talking and I say something, and if I don't catch it, I hear about it in the comments. It's GRN, glass reinforced nylon, not G10 on both of these. The shredded carbon fiber look is because it is glass reinforced nylon. But it is an assisted knife, the LCK Plus. You've got a few different variations of this knife, but this is the reverse tanto tip option. This is a classic. This is another legend. This is another GOAT in its area. CRKT, Lucas Burnley collaboration, and it is the Squid. Spear point blade with a hollow grind, 5th pocket carry, stone washed stainless handles, a little hole down here for your lanyard. It is a frame lock. It does have a pocket clip that is not quite deep carry. Screws are not inset, so it will snag on your pocket a little bit. On the hem of your pocket, it's not reversible. But ultimately, it's just a little thin EDC 5th pocket carry knife. Stainless handles, very heavy, very just really good at what it is. A small knife. Look at the jimping on top of that blade. That is extremely, that's the kind of jimping where they take the hatchet and they just chop out big chunks out of the blade. What a great knife right there. What a great knife. Dual thumb studs. Remember, frame lock. The action is a little tight, but this is a small knife, so you're not getting a very fidgety knife. Moving on. That's a great knife. It's too small for my hands. We'll move on. The Squid. You all have seen me before. It is what it is. I just flipped that right out of my hands and it went flying. It's over there and I'm not getting up and getting it. I'll get it later. It's an 8CR blade. It's stone washed, and I think those things are around $30 to $40. And they're great knives. They're just too small for me. They're a 5th pocket carry knife. Check them out. I would say something, but you guys have seen worse from me. I drop knives, I throw knives, I do everything else. If there was a knife authority, the knife authority would have already come and visited me and said, hey, why are you talking about knives when you can't even hold one in your hand half the time? And I'd be like, I don't know. I just love knives. Well, you need to love knives enough to hold on to them better. And I'd be like, you're 100% correct. But let's move on. The next knife is the Copaetic. Now this is a large knife. I can't believe I've done that. Yes, I can. That's a total lie. I can totally believe I've done that. So can you. You've been watching long enough. You know I do that. Great jimping on top. Dual thumb studs. Rubberized handles. So big, thick steel liners. This is a tip down knife. A lot of people don't like tip down, but this is a tip down, deep carry pocket clip. Screws are not inset and it's not reversible. So this is right hand only, tip down. It does have dual thumb studs, good action, and it has a flipper tab. Now this is, did I say this was assisted? I'm so confused. This is not assisted. This has got a hollow grind blade, another with the reverse tanto, hollow grind. Look at that curve on that belly. This is a heavy, bulky knife. When I had the prep shack, my brother came to town from Ohio, and he was in town. He still has this knife. And this was several years back. And we were, we had the prep shack. We did sell Kershaw and Buck and CRKT and stuff like that. I mean, the most expensive knife we carried was like a $45, $50 knife. But mainly we carried the M-Tex and stuff like that, the gas station style knives that look like a Batman knife or a motorcycle or, rainbows and stuff. And just cool looking knives, but they're M-Tex or Tac Force or whatever else. We sold those. But we did sell some CRKT and Kershaw and Buck. And he wanted a really good knife, and I think we had like 25 bucks on this knife, and he picked it up. And he eventually broke the tip off of this knife, opening paint cans. He had opened so many paint cans, finally he just busted the tip off of it. But it's an HCR blade, so it is tough, but it's only going to hold up to so much of that. He still has that knife, but since then I have moved him on to other knives. He has some other knives now, and he doesn't carry this one anymore. But it's a good EDC knife. If you're looking for a budget beater knife, I mean a knife that you can beat on, a knife that you can just trash on, beat on, use for hardcore EDC, not worry about it because it's, you know, expensive or you got to take care of it or anything like that. This knife right here is a great option. It is a liner lock. Just a great knife for what it is. $30. Look at that blade. Talk about EDC style. I talk about it all the time with the other knives that I've gotten, the other brands. There's certain blade shapes that are really good for EDC. This is one of those blade shapes. That curved belly, you're getting a lot of sliciness with that hollow grind and that curved belly, and you're getting that sharp piercing tip for EDC and different things like that. Just a great knife. The Copaetic. Good action, the Copaetic. This is another knife right here. They literally could stop making every knife except for this brand right here, or this line, I should say, right here, and they're gonna be just fine and keep in business, stay in business, because they sell so many. And it is the M16 line. Now this is the M1601S. This has got an ACR blade, stone washed. It is a dagger tip. It's got the swedge on top. It's only sharpened on one side though, not dual-sided. It does have aluminum handles. You can see that they are milled out with all those holes. This is a frame lock. As you can see right here, it's got a frame lock for closing. It's got a flipper tab and it's got dual thumb studs. Now this does not have the best action ever. It's just not designed for that. But it is a great little EDC knife. Now here's the thing about this. This is my third time filming this video, by the way. I had to keep restarting it because of one thing or another. I looked this up a while ago when filming this. The M16 line has the CRKT M16 knife has a large number of variations with over 30 different models available. Not 30, over 30. These variations include different blade lengths and shapes. Tonto, spear point are just a few. Handle materials include aluminum, G10, Zytel, black finish, stone wash blade finish, and many other features. You can get this in black blade, stone wash blade. You can get it in brown or that flat earth, whatever. You can get it in a large knife, a small knife, a mini. You can get it in so many different variations. You can get it in Tonto tip, just whatever you're looking for. Now I'm going to tell you, again, HCR, really, really good. It does have jimping on top. It is, it's not micro. You can feel it, but they're so close together. And it's not micro. It just doesn't do a lot for you for the grip. Dual thumb studs. It's got a flipper tab. This is another one that is tip down only. Now it is reversible. You can go right hand or left hand, but it is only tip down. So it is reversible right or left hand, but it's only tip down. And a lot of people don't like tip down knives. I get it. For me, it doesn't matter either way, but I do understand why people only like tip up. So here's the thing about this knife. I had another M16. a long time ago when I didn't know anything about knives. I didn't know what I had. I thought it with the M16, because I didn't know anything with that name. Oh, M16, it's just like a gimmicky knife. That's what I thought. I didn't know anything about knives. I thought I did, but I didn't. And I thought M16, it's just a gimmicky knife. That's all. They're trying to play on the whole M16 guns and stuff like that, and just to sell them for their name. So I had one, and we would go set up at the flea market in London, Kentucky all the time. We had our brick and mortar store, the Prep Shack, but a lot of times on weekends, we would go down there because we knew a lot of people had a lot of customers down there, and they couldn't travel to Richmond to the Prep Shack. So we would take all of our prepping stuff, our MREs for the food, and our paracord, and our camping supplies, and hunting supplies, and gun supplies, and we would take all of our knives and our stun guns and tasers and batons and brass knuckles and sharpening stuff. We would take everything, and we'd go down there and we'd set up, and we would just kill it in weekends. We'd go down there and do $3-4 grand in a day. It was always awesome. It was so much fun. We always had a lot of we made a lot of good friends down there. But I would always Greg would always be looking at me like I was crazy, because we would have kids that would come through, and we would sell those M-Tech. Or we sold all these other knives, this Kershaw CRKT buck, like I said, but our main bread and butter for the knives were the M-Tech and Tac Force and stuff, and J-Tac and different, those $15 gas station knives. We sold some for $10, and the majority of them for $15, depending on how much we had into them. And kids would come through there with their parents, and they'd be wanting one, and their parents would be like, how much you got? And they'd be like, oh, I've only got $8. Well, it's 15, buddy. Sorry, you can't. And every time. And Greg, if you're watching, because you watch most of my videos, leave a comment below and verify this. Every time, I wasn't going to watch that kid walk off and not get that knife. It just wasn't going to happen. So I'd be like, here, just give me your $8. And I would let them pick out whatever knife on the table they wanted, as long as it was the $15 M-Techs, not like the $25 and $30 CRKTs or anything, just like the M-Techs. Oh, that's what, buddy, you want that knife? Go ahead, take it. Oh, I'm not going to lose any money. Go ahead. I'm not getting rich on that knife. I'd rather you have that knife if you like it that much. And the parents always appreciate that. And usually they would buy stuff from us. The parents would. I wasn't doing it for that reason, but they would just appreciate that. And they'd be like, oh, that's really cool. And then the dad would be like, you know what? I was needing a flashlight anyways. Y'all are selling all kinds of flashlights. I'm going to buy a flashlight. And I never did it for that reason, and I remember there was a kid that came through, and I had that M16 knife, and he really, really liked that knife, but he just didn't have the money to get one. He was with his grandma and never remembered his grandma was walking around with him, and she didn't have the money to give him to buy the knife or anything. He really wanted a knife, but he didn't have any money. And I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was he wanted to trade his Pokemon cards to me for a knife or something like that. And I had that CRKT M16 in my pocket. And all the knives on the table were the Prep Shacks. They were mine, but they were the Prep Shacks, mine and Greg's. And it was his business too. And that kid wanted to trade like a Pokemon card or something for a knife. And I wasn't going to take a knife off of our table, because that was our business. At least when those kids would pay $8, they were at least covering the cost of the knife. And I wasn't going to ask Greg to cover, it just wouldn't have been fair. So I remember I made sure his grandma was okay, and I pulled that M16 knife out, and I told him, hey, you have to take this home and take care of this, and you always have to be safety first. And I let his grandma have it, and I was like, your grandma's going to go put this up for you, and she's going to take care of this, and when you're old enough, this will be your knife, and you remember that I gave it to you, and I told you to always be responsible and always be kind to other people, stuff like that, blah blah blah. And I gave that knife to him. And then later on, I found out, I'm not saying that to like make myself look good or anything, I'm just saying, after that is when I found out that the M16 knives were actually really good knives. And I was like, wow, I gave away my good knife. So after that, I always wanted to get another M16 knife, but I never, every time I'd be in the stores online and I'd have one in my cart, there'd be another knife that I'd want more. So I'd kick the M16 out of the cart. I'd buy something different. And finally, one day I was at Walmart. I was with my boys, and I saw this. This was the last one that they had, and it might have been on sale for like $10 off or something. Instead of $45, it was like $35. And I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to get one. I'm going to go ahead and get it. So I bought that, and I've been really glad that I have, because this is such a good line. The M16s, they are such a popular line for a reason. They are really, really, really good knives. And if you want a good CRKT knife, they got a lot of good brands, or not, I mean, not brands, but lines. They got a lot of good models, but it's really hard to beat the M16. Go with the M16. You'll be thankful that you did, because they're such, I would probably go with the bigger version than this, than the O1S. I would probably go, they just got bigger versions. I would definitely go with the bigger version than this, unless you're a really small person with small hands, and then this is probably perfect for you. This now, I'm almost done. That's the only reason I told that story. This line, this knife right here, this is their GOAT line. This is the line that changed the world. The CEO. Now, almost every brand out there has a CEO replica or imitation. The Quaken by Kershaw, the Quaken by Boker, they all have knives that are similar to the CEO. And it all started right here. Look at that knife. It almost looks like an ink pen. That's exactly what it's designed to be. It goes into your pocket just like, I mean, an ink pen with the pocket clip. It's about as thick as an ink pen, about as long as an ink pen. It's designed to be like an ink pen. So you can wear it in your shirt, wear it in the inside of your jacket, wear it in your pants. It's an executive style. Now, here's the thing. I will say, as thin and long as this is, you would think that it's not very sturdy. And while I wouldn't use this for any hardcore heavy EDC use, it's just not meant for that. And you'll be upset and sad that you did, because you'll break your knife. But you can do some harder task with this. It actually does have some strength to it. Now, this is AUS 8 steel. It's not M8CR. This is AUS 8, which is going to give it a little bit more edge retention, I think, than the ACR. A little bit maybe more toughness. But it's a great knife. Flipper tab. It is a liner lock with good steel liners. It's got a reversible pocket clip that is deep carry because it goes through the top. But this is a knife for a salesman, for an executive. A letter opener, steak knife, cutting your lunch or whatever. Just a general EDC for an executive style person. Church, going to graduations, going to weddings, stuff like that. You don't want a big, bulky, heavy tactical knife on you. Right here, this is a great option. The CEO. The CEOs is another line that they have absolutely rocked the world with, because they've sold so many of these. And the last knife that I'm going to show you is a knife that is really, really, really cool. It's a little innovative, really cool. I don't see any of these anywhere. I don't know anybody that's got one, but they're a cool knife. And it is the Kadai. Now, this blade, forgive the stuff on it. I just cut some tape a while ago to see how sharp it is. This is like a scalpel. That's what this reminds me of. A little scalpel. Or not a little, but a large scalpel. It reminds me of a large scalpel blade. It's a razor blade. When I say hair popping razor blade sharp, this is hair popping razor blade sharp. And I cut the duct tape to see how sharp it was and how deep it would go. And I mean, it's just like cutting through butter. It is extremely, incredibly, insanely sharp. It is a liner lock. It does have a deep carry pocket clip that is reversible. So it's left hand or right hand, tip up. Again, liner lock. It's got aluminum handles. Now, here's the thing about this knife that makes this so innovative. It does have a flipper tab right there. Great action. and D2 blade. D2. So toughness, edge retention, that's what you're looking for right here in this knife. So great, great knife. So here is what makes this knife innovative though. A lot of times it's a pain to take a knife apart and clean out the washers or the bearings or whatever when the actions start getting sticky, or if you want to change handles and stuff. With this, all you have to do is see this right here. All right, here, I'm trying to do it where you're not looking. Right there, it's in lock position. But when you flip it up and move it over to there, you literally can take it all apart so that you can clean it all out and see the inner workings. And then you can put this right back together and slide it back down there, and now it is locked again. Great action. So one more time, it's like that. You move it up. Actually, can't do it in reverse. Move it up, move it over there, and it just pops right off. Put it back down. Move this back, move it down, and it is in the lock position. You do have the spacer right there, the aluminum spacer, and you have got a phenomenally sharp little scalpel knife. So that's a little innovative. It's really cool. You can take it apart and clean it out. This is a good little EDC knife. It's a good little knife for sharp, sharp task for like an office desk, or if you're going to be out and about and you're going to be doing a lot of things that are grimy and dirty, but you need a really razor blade sharp knife. If you're going to be somebody that's going to do a lot of arts and crafts, and normally you use scalpels and those precision little cutting knives, but you want something a little bit bigger, here you go. But when you do that, you deal with a lot of glue, a lot of paint, different things like that might get inside the knife and different things and gunk it up. Right there's a great option. So you can use this for a lot of your more precision cuts, but when it's time to take it apart and clean it out, it just literally pops right off and then pops right back on. So it's a cool knife. Now these are around $90, so they're not cheap. On Blade HQ, they're around $90. You could probably get one more affordable on Amazon, but Blade HQ, they're around $90. But that is all of my CRKTs. Sorry for my rambling. Sorry for my stories. Sorry for, maybe I'm not sorry. I mean, you guys watch my videos, so you know who I am. One thing I am sorry for is for launching my knife across the room. That was an extremely bad example of knife safety. I should not have talked to that kid and give him a knife and told him about knife safety, because I myself need somebody to talk to me and teach me about knife safety. I threw a knife across the room, and that is not cool. But it is what it is. I'm going to stick to the fact that I've done it on purpose for comic relief to lighten up the tension, because we was talking about CRKT. I did it on purpose, guys. It was 100% planned, staged, and it is what it is. All right, so remember, guys, Unprofessional Dad merch linked in the description below in case you're wanting any. That time is almost up, and it will be over. Also, premium membership. The last day of the month, we will be giving away this month's premium member knife. So make sure that you check it out. Join if you want to. If you join at tier 1, you get 1 name in the box. Tier 2, you get 3 names in the box. Tier 3, you get 5 names in the box to have your name drawn out, because the winner will win the knife. The budget, most base knife that it will be is at least $100 in value, but the knife is usually around $150 to $200 in value. And to have your name in that drawing, you have to be a premium member. It's the last day of the month. I will go live for premium members only and draw a name out of the box. And if you are that person, you win. Excuse me. And you'll get a really cool knife on me Well, actually, on all the premium members, because all the money from the premium members goes back into the knife of the month. So I appreciate you guys. All right, that's neither here nor there. I'm Chris, I'm Professional Dad. I wish all of you sharp knives and happy lives, and keep your knives in your hand and don't throw them across rooms. And I will see you in the next one.